as the Walt Disney Company struggles to respond to a number of issues plaguing the historic studio, such as import tariffs and rising competition in both streaming and theme parks. Disney now has to face the consequences of at least one of their decisions, that being the alleged firing of Mandalorian's Cara Dune actress, Gina Carano. From the beginning of her legal suit against the company, the question of pay has been an important issue in attempting to ascertain just exactly how devastating Gina's forced departure had been. And now, finally, we are getting our answer with Carano's latest legal victory against the House of Mouse. Let's talk about Gina Carano gaining access to the compensation records of several Lucasfilm productions as part of her legal discovery here on That Park Place.
If you're following That Park Place, you get these little treats before anyone else. It looks like Gina Carano scored a big win in her legal battle against the Disney company. A few days earlier, there was she tweeted out about some dodging by the Walt Disney Company. They were refusing to provide discovery information or providing things that were like not really the answer to the questions that were being asked in the court-ordered discovery. But let's read what's happened since then. Gina Carano wins big against Disney in lawsuit discovery battle. Judge orders Disney to hand over actor pay records within 20 days. This from Marvin Montanaro. And a major legal victory for Gina Carano in her lawsuit against Disney. The U.S. District Court for the Central District of California has granted a motion to compel Disney to turn over key documents related to how other Star Wars actors were compensated, including big names like Pedro Pascal, Rosario Dawson, and the cast of The Mandalorian and Grogu. The order comes after 8 months of what Carano described as Disney's deflection and stalling in her wrongful termination lawsuit. In the court order issued by that case number, forces Disney to comply within 20 days, handing over verified spreadsheets showing how actors were paid across The Mandalorian and related Disney Plus shows and the upcoming film. The ruling partially grants Carano's motion to compel, marking a pivotal moment in the ongoing battle between the Cara Dune actress and one of Hollywood's largest media corporations. Why are they one of the largest? Well, because YouTube and Netflix are outclassing them in every way. Vash, do you want to know how much Amanda Stenberg made on The Acolyte?
Yeah, very much so, actually, yes.
I would like to know if this information is going to be made public myself. Let's see here. If we have the notes that are specifically from Sherilyn P. Scarnett. According to the court document, the root substantive and material question relevant to the parties' claims of defenses is what information plaintiff needs on its own terms or to provide her testifying damages expert in order to help establish the amount of compensation she could have reasonably expected to earn from her employment with Walt Disney in a but-for scenario, had Walt Disney not terminated her employment from the Mandalorian television show in February 2021. So
Yep.
they want to know how much people are getting paid right now to be on the Mandalorian stuff. So and then to calculate that backwards. I like the Mandalorian, especially season 1 and 2. I watched season 3, and it seemed like there might have been some attempts to bring in some tough female characters in there. I have nothing against Bo-Katan. I like Katie Sackhoff in the role, but there were some statements that the Mandalorian could also refer to Bo-Katan Kryze, and that makes me roll my eyes and think that Disney does not understand their audience whatsoever. Or maybe it was Rick Famuyiwa who said that, and he doesn't understand the audience. I don't know how well the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is going to do, but if any of the actors in that are getting points on the film, then that just adds to the idea that Gina Carano deserves to be paid more and more money. I don't know. I wonder if this is something that Disney will eventually try to settle before it goes to court, or if Gina's really, really going to get justice for what they did to her. Rachel Zegler comes to mind, and there's part of me that really wants to move on from the Rachel Zegler thing, but she's relevant to this because she did all of these things very publicly, like directly attached her opinions to trailers for the movie. But Gina Carano asked some questions and said, hey, can we be nice to each other? And they were like, she's reprehensible. Maybe that wasn't the exact word. But Disney wanted to distance themselves from Gina Carano's opinions. And they literally sent out a note saying how awful they feel that she was. I think this is something where no matter what Disney does now to try to quote unquote protect themselves from actresses like Rachel Ziegler, I don't think they're going to be successful in that. Vash, are you looking forward to the Gina Carano lawsuit coming up here in the next few months?
Oh, yes. Very much looking forward to the Gina Carano lawsuit, that's for sure. I'm very interested, curious to see what actually is exposed in Discovery. And yeah, I think this is very relevant to this case. I mean, they have to really make a claim of potential lost business, especially with the Walt Disney Company and as it relates to Lucasfilm. So I think these documents related to these the pay provided to these actors, I think is extremely relevant to this case. I'm surprised that they were not interested in turning this stuff over because it speaks to the heart of it. How much was Gina Carano aggrieved in being fired by the Walt Disney Company in the way that she was? And that's the thing too. They with that note that they put out, they kind of sullied her name not just within the halls of Disney, but within Hollywood itself, and that could have really damaged her career long term. So it even goes beyond just her employment at Lucasfilm. But I think this really this is especially relevant, and they're playing games. You know, that's why they're seeking to delay the trial to a certain point. I think they're wanting to somehow coax a settlement out of her. But from what I understand, that's not what Gina wants. And that's also not what her legal counsel wants. You see, a lot of times you'll have legal counsel. They'll discuss with opposing counsel to try to get a settlement offer. That, I mean, this is a very interesting case in that the two entities between Gina and her representation are aligned in what they want, and you're not going to be able to hand wave this stuff away. I think this is going to trial.
I think you're absolutely correct. Also, this is something, and this will affect Gina's career, and as if I know her, we've met. I think this will affect her career forever. So she will have to get past all of this political stuff in order to have a successful career, or she has to lean into it, which I think this is something that she had a career where the entire industry was focused on girl boss characters. And you have one of the more influential MMA fighters, learning the trade, able to play characters that were beloved by fans. There's a huge fan base for Gina Carano, and now the fact that Disney fired her off of the show, well, it might have boosted that character, but I would say there's a lot of people who don't want to watch the show because of all of the mess that Disney has done. So they've hurt themselves, and they've put something that will always be a little asterisk on Gina's career, and I don't like that. That people are defined by things done to them sometimes. I don't think that's fair. I think she's stronger than all of that. I'll also point that out. But I think this is something where Disney has done irreparable harm that will have to be parlayed into some other kind of success through it all. And I think that we would all like to see Disney admit in court that they did wrong here. So there's more to see, and we are going to be following the Gina Carano lawsuit as I would dare anyone to try to cover it as closely as we have covered it here. Specifically, they want Carl Weathers' contract. I think it's also fascinating to watch the judge kind of be like, Disney, stop screwing around and actually produce this information. I like it. I like it a lot. For $5, Albertus Magnus says Disney slandered Gina Carano. They called her vile. They fired Gina Carano over politics, and they fed Rachel Ziegler actual vile comments. Weird, as we often like to say with Rockel Ziegler.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.